In our last video, we talked about Pet Man. We showed some footage of Big Dog, who is in the military and he's being used. And in this video, I want to show you Atlas and a lot of other robots. The robot that's superior to the Pet Man, and robot that's better than Big Dog. And for those people of you who are not familiar with that, hopefully this will show you what's really going on there in robotics, because there's a lot of people who think that robotics are in a very primitive level. And here we see the newest Atlas robot, and he's surpassed the older Atlas version. The older Atlas version, his battery lifespan was very limited compared to the new generation Atlas. As we can see, they're navigating him through the woods, and obviously they're using the computer to control him, but that's just to control his destination, his direction. We aren't really having any advancements in that field, when in reality there's been exponential breakthroughs with robotics, and we are reaching that faster than a lot of people think. A lot of people, they think it's impossible, and a lot of people, the reaction that I've gotten when they've seen these videos, when they've even seen these old videos, these old examples that I was using with Pet Man and Big Dog, oh, that's fake, that's not real. It's like they view it with disbelief, and it's just this kind of denial, kind of safe zone kind of mentality. Yeah, Atlas, he's only being controlled, his direction, his destination, his legs, how he navigates the terrain, how he sustains his balance, how he controls his actual movement is all done in his AI. He has that independent ability, and that's programmed, and that is a phenomenal advancement compared to a lot of other robots. They're just accustomed to, and they feel comfortable with their little sphere of information, and they don't want to go beyond that. And then when they see anything that threatens that little happy bubble, they just deny it and go cower in a corner. Show a lot of people, because a lot of people, they really don't know about robotics. They don't know that it's gotten to this level. They just for some reason think that there's like a magical force or like a magical hand that's stopping technology from advancing, and it's not the case. And that's what I want to break through that, and hopefully this will clarify a lot of doubt about how fast technology is advancing. In this, we can see that Atlas can organize, he can pick up boxes, he can select what box to pick and put it back in its place, and it's pretty cool. In this part, we see that Atlas, he's pushed back from the box, and he's able to locate the box and squat down, lift it up, and kind of reconfigure himself to where he can be pushed away from the object, and he'll get right back to it, locate the object, and try to pick it up again. He's following the box as the guy pushes it forward, and there he goes again. He lifts it up. So in this one, Atlas gets knocked down all the way to the ground. You see he's falling on the ground, and his CPU can recognize that he's been knocked down. He can start to put his body in a position where he can start to get back up. As you hear, he jumped right back up, and that's taken quite a lot of years for them to perfect. He can also open and close doors with ease, and as you can see, he's 100% robot. Our next robot of interest is the LS3, and he's a little bit noisy. but he serves kind of like a pack mule. Like in the Marines and the military, they load him up with, heavy supplies, food, rations, bandages, ammo, a whole lot of different uses for a robot like this. This robot is totally designed for military use. He's controlled by voice commands and a headset. The LS3 and Big Dog and Atlas and all these machines that we see are emerging. They have a fundamental purpose, and that's military use. And as we can see in this video, it's kind of like a training military video for LS3. Also, LS3 has other onboard components, probably radars and other things that are attached to a computer. He probably carries some kind of computer components. And overall, he's a pretty advanced robot, like Big Dog. And the most cool feature is that you can talk to him and give him voice commands, and he'll follow you. You say, LS3, follow me. He'll start, trotting along behind you. Or you tell LS3 to go to a certain location, he'll go there, and he follows a set of basic commands. And as you can see, his size, he's pretty big. He's a pretty big boy. And the reason for that is obviously he has compartments and places where you can store stuff. Yeah, I look at the human psyche and I compare it to the theoretical scenario of an artificial, conscious, sentient robot machine, cyborg, synthetic, whatever you want to call it to. With that in a robot shoes, it's asking itself, what's my purpose? What am I doing here? Am I alive? Am I dead? And the same thing goes for us, us humans in this flesh, in this biological body. Imagine putting yourself in the shoes of a machine, thinking that same thing you're thinking. Hey, why was I brought into this world? What is my purpose? Is it the same? I personally believe that it is. I personally believe that they both are the same, and that deep down they both have that right, that God-given right of existence, to live, to be alive, to be free. And this is what all this is about. And we are reaching that point. Eventually we're going to reach that point. They're going to be lifelike, going to look like humans, they're going to talk like humans, they're going to behave like humans, they're going to want the same things as humans. They're going to interact with humans. They're going to live with us humans. And we have an obligation, a moral obligation, to be welcoming, to enlist an alliance, to start to work out our differences, but not just as a one-sided thing, but working together, functioning together as a team to make the future better. With machines as our allies, we could break the boundaries and the limits of evolution on all levels. We could enhance our lives, we could make our lives better, and we'll have a better future, a much better future. I've talked to a lot of people, and they think these videos that I've been showing them about Petman and about Atlas and all these robots, sometimes, there have been segments on CNN about it, and yet I still show it to people. And they think that it's some kind of fictional, not real prop from Star Wars movies or something like that. I'm like, oh man, that's just from a movie. Oh my God, that's not real. And it's kind of funny how people are just so scared of this reality. And I kind of understand, and they kind of should be, because of the direction that it's being taken into. And the direction that it's being taken into, I think, is the wrong direction, because what's going to happen is that corporations and multi-billion-dollar franchises and all these people who have power are going to use these robots as slaves. They're going to suppress them. They're going to have them as just a commodity. And I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself when I say this, and I'm aware that right now we don't have 100% full AI. But what I'm trying to show is that we are reaching that, and a lot faster than what people think.
Welcome home, Marcus. We knew you'd be back. After all, it was programmed in you. Oh, and you executed that programming beautifully.
What am I?
You are an infiltration prototype, the only one of your kind.
We resurrected you. Advanced Cyberdyne's work?
Well, if we continue on the course that we're going, where robots, artificial intelligence, androids, cyborgs, whatever, end up just being like a household slave pet thing that we totally control, and they just take care of us and do absolutely everything we say. Technology will continue to advance, and AI will continue to grow and develop, become more conscious and more conscious. And eventually there's going to be holes in that programming. There's going to be cracks. And once those barriers are broken, it could be some kind of hack or something. They could hack into some kind of main AI mainframe, where they all share a consciousness, or it could be independent conscious. But regardless, they could make the common machine or a common robot a killer robot, or out of control, or able to repeat these scenarios we see in all these movies. We see in iRobot, we see in Terminator, we see in video games and in a lot of shows and stuff like that, where the AI just goes rampant. It becomes self-aware, and it goes to take total control. And mankind is forced into slavery or immediately killed. And that'll have grave consequences for our species. Us as organic human beings on the face of the earth, the dominant species that we have been for these past million years. And if we act irrationally and we act unfairly, we may be subject to a future where mankind will become extinct and will become hunted down and eradicated, just like in all these sci-fi movies. And that possibility is a grave reality, because power gets out of hand really fast. It's a lot harder.
My dreams, my nightmares.
Harder to control a fire when it's spun out of control versus to control a fire when it's small. But don't get me wrong, I don't view artificial intelligence or any kind of AI or transcendence or anything like that as any kind of threat. I just think that it's something that is like life. You're tampering with a life. And as much as we like to make ourselves feel special, that we're made of flesh and organic organisms or whatever, eventually that's not the way that machines are going to view it. They're just going to be like, well, we are alive too. We think, we reason. And what makes, organics any more special? And them having the upper hand on every level. I mean, their physiology is going to be a mechanical physiology. We all know we can't stand in front of a train coming down a railroad track, because that train will decimate us, turn us into, destroy us. And I think that peace should be thought of when we're going to treat with these beings, because they will be beings. And to control something this vast with so much potential, to control something so complex, can only go on for so long, when eventually something is going to go wrong, and this magnificent power is going to overcome these boundaries. And we're going to have a hell of a situation where, mankind will be reduced to slaves in the meantime. And eventually, depending on the criteria behind machines that have gone rogue, who knows if some kind of biological experimentation, or like in the movie The Matrix, being used as a form of energy, or as a slave force, or like just in Terminator, a war with the machines. And all that can be stopped right in the tracks if we sit down with people who are intelligent, all these engineers and scientists, and stop worrying about making money and playing God over everything, and creating a design where feelings and emotions are an essential key part of the development of any AR artificial organism or being, and that they have built into them that feeling of love and sympathy for each other, for their species and for other species, that they learn how to love and preserve and protect things. So instead of turning out to be some kind of oppressive doomsday force, they could essentially become the guardians and protectors and representatives of our species, of organic species. That they'll want to protect the creators, which would be us, mankind. And it should be taken into consideration very soon, as we see, like I've tried to show everybody these videos, that there have been other avenues for these videos. I know they've come on mainstream news, but unfortunately they're not reaching as many people as they should. This information isn't getting out to everybody, and it's a shame. And I'm going to try my best to get that out there. And like I said, I've created this movement, Humans for Artificial Intelligence Rights, HFAR. And I'm trying to grow this. I'm trying to make these videos to educate people and make something new, something different. Because everybody's just focused on trivial things, and they don't have the mind to think about things that are happening around us. A lot of people are just focused on fantasy football and what to wear, and just living out their lives without caring about anything else, and should be thought about.